Hey folks, welcome to Tyrdom. So, I've been thinking about the reasons why people are starting to be more spiritual again. And I kind of think that it has to do with how society is rigged today and what's been rewarded in today's society. Because if you think about it, we live in an age now where the material world is highly rewarded. Everyone wants to live in those fancy mansions and have new cars and designer clothes and stuff like that. And I can see it on the people that I know, that they are very self-aware about these things. And in some sense, money has become the new thing you worship. There's nothing new about this theory. I'm very aware about that, but I think that this has been true for the last couple of decades at least. And this has created somewhat of a spiritual vacuum among people. And I think that people are starting to wake up to this notion, and that the discrepancy between the old spirituality and the new one is starting to get clearer for folks. So I think that is the main driver behind the new spirituality, so to speak. And even though it might seem like it, I don't really care if you're a pagan or a Christian or whatever you like to. There are certainly religions I would strongly advise you not to pursue, but that's a topic for another day. The main thing to me is that you are, human enough to understand that some things in life aren't about stuff and the tangibles. And to me, paganism is the outlook of life that makes most sense. And it's also most compatible with modern science, especially if you look at the animistic aspects of paganism. And to me, it's very, very possible to live a modern life with a modern outlook on life and combine it with paganism and the spirituality of nature, exactly like I'm doing here. And I've been thinking about this for a long time. And just to give you folks some background, so I was born into a fairly Christian home. I'm baptized and all that jazz, but I've never felt at home in it all. And like I mentioned in the other videos, I've had this, the runes and the bogs and all the graves and all of these things very close by all of my life. And to me, it was just, it just made sense, paganism. And over the years, as I'm grown older, I can almost touch it, looking at my own children and their upbringing and their connection to nature and all these things. It makes perfect sense to me. And the circularity of time itself. Now it's spring here in Scandinavia. As you can hear, the birds are chirping away. The ground is slowly starting to get green again. And it's the reset after Pascha or Påsk. Easter, that is. So yeah, I think that the spiritual vacuum, we have to be a bit mindful, because we need to help other people to not fill that vacuum with more stuff and things that doesn't really matter. We want to fill that vacuum with things that makes life in itself better for our children, our relatives, and the people that comes after us. And I think those things really matter, because no one will remember you for what car you drove or what designer clothes you had, and how big your house was. They will remember you for what you stood for in life. And I think that really, really matters. It's like the butterfly effect. Even the smallest of changes can have a really big influence in the now and in the future. So just some thoughts on my little forest walk here, trying to get those vitamins from the sun. Vitamin D. You need the sun. It's absolutely pivotal for you. Okay. Have a lovely day, folks. And thank you for being a member of Tyrdom. It means a lot to me. Okay. Have a good one. Tyrdom out.